Hello guys, this is Nasty Cupid here again with another World of Warships video. And this time it's in the Bismarck, the tier 8 German battleship. And this ship, I think I mentioned some of my issues with this ship in the Tirpitz video, but I'll repeat them in this video. So the Bismarck isn't really my favorite ship at all. It is probably one of the worst battleships in the game for me. I have the worst stats in this ship, and when I think about other terrible ships in this game, well, terrible battleships that is, I'm thinking about the Colorado level of obnoxious ships. So the Colorado is of course just terribly slow, which makes it frustrating to play. But the Bismarck is a ship which is quite squishy, and the guns, or the accuracy on the guns, is terrible. Of course this is a nice game, which means my shots are on target pretty much, but that's just mostly luck and RNG in my favor. So in most games your accuracy will be pretty terrible in this ship. In comparison to the Tirpitz has much more accurate guns, and I think not so much the dispersion, but the way your shots move out vertically is in the Bismarck much worse than in the Tirpitz. So of course the great thing about this ship is the secondaries. As you can see on the map, you can see the yellow circle, which is my secondary range, and the range is also visible on the map, which is 10.8 kilometers, and that is without the secondary flag. I'm not sure what the exact name is, but normally you can get with that secondary flag, I think 11.3, I think it's something like that. So an enormous secondary range. Of course also my build in this ship with the captain is completely focused on secondaries. So I have the better accuracy, better range of secondaries, also the adrenaline rush, which makes the secondaries shoot incredibly fast. And at close range those secondaries can be pretty devastating to any enemy that is trying to get you. And as you can see here, I'm shooting down some planes, which you couldn't normally do in the Bismarck. So that's only just because my secondary build also gives some advantage to the AA. So onto the game. The game is not going very well. As you can see, we lost 2 cruisers and a destroyer, and we have no flags because A is contested, which means we don't get any points off of it. So my team at sea is very passive, which of course there are 2 Tirpitzes there. And as I told you guys in the previous video about the Tirpitz, is that the Tirpitz is most of the time a bad player, because lots of people bought that ship even though they have, or they've not reached tier 8 in a legitimate way. So that's why they play like lower tiers, and that's because they actually are, except they have a Tirpitz. So I'm getting harassed here, so I decide to charge into A, of course, because we needed the flag. And I'm getting harassed by a Nürnberg, and the Nürnberg is behind an island. And he has been there for the, well, he will be there for the whole entire game. He will be at that exact spot. So of course when I see him, this is one of the last times I think I see him, and one of the first, and I of course get a shot off, but I only get over penetrations because the Nuremberg is very weak armored, which means your shells will go right through it. So I took some huge damage, and that is not good, but we have the adrenaline rush, and as you can see, my reload on my guns is 22 seconds or 21 seconds even, so that is amazingly fast. So also the enemy here on this flank is pretty aggressive and pretty numerous, but we are getting some damage done on the turrets and the key. Unfortunately, the key is not dead yet, but I'm of course focusing him because he really needs to die, because that ship has some amazing guns and we don't want that on any of our broadsides. And he goes down, thankfully. He was pretty damaged in the beginning, but he still managed to get away. But now he finally died, but he did some significant damage before he died, so that wasn't a very good play. If you see a ship with low health, finish it as fast as you can. Of course the turret is showing broadside, so hopefully I'll get a bit lucky and kill him. And we do not kill him, unfortunately. Also the cruisers on the left flank are all very low, so if I had accurate guns, maybe like the Amagi, I could get a triple kill maybe. But with this ship you really want all your guns to be able to do some decent damage. I missed the Charles Martel, as you saw. So that's the most frustrating part about this ship. These guns are terrible, really terrible. The Gneisenau had, which is the ship before this one, had also the worst guns in the game, but at least he had torpedoes. And this ship has the same guns, but the only difference is you get one turret extra. But even with one turret extra, your guns are still terrible. So I got lucky and finished off the Charles Martel. I did say Charles Martel, which is some kind of weird hybrid between English and French, which I apologize for. But I will try to say the correct names, unless it's Russian. I don't really speak Russian, or don't know how to pronounce it. But anyways, so the enemy is not spotted at all, which makes it very interesting, but I am also not spotted. That is why I'm sailing very bold and giving a lot of broadside. But you don't want to do this, of course, when you would be spotted. So the Bismarck pops up. He does have some more health. He does have a destroyer at his side and some cruisers that will probably pop up any second now. So I am pretty much alone. I only have a Edinburgh, but I don't think he will be much help because he doesn't want to show himself, so all the shots will fall on me, but it seems he is shooting, so that's very good of him. So the Mayoko, of course, I want to focus on him, but unfortunately, or maybe not, but he is slowing down. He is going behind the island, but maybe I'll get a shot off to finish him, but it doesn't look like it. It does disappear, so that is too bad. Bismarck gives me broadside, don't really know why. So I get some nice volleys off. But as you can see, the dispersion is, well, not the best. It's really just simple luck that you need with these guns. If your luck is terrible, you will do no damage, and if you are lucky, you will do some damage, but most of the time you'll be unlucky. At least I'm always unlucky, unless you count this game with it, but overall in this ship I really have a bad time. So as you saw there, I aimed a bit higher for the superstructure. You don't want to shoot the hull, but I hope you guys already know that. So the secondaries are doing amazing work, which is awesome. Seeing those secondaries work is probably the most satisfying about this ship. And the Bismarck is really going down pretty fast, and he does die. So at this point we have a Mayoko around the corner, which we need to deal with. The Nuremberg, which is still hiding at the same spot the whole game. Don't really know why. I think he's just mad he's a tier 6 and just wants to hide. So the Hipper suddenly pops up and he gives broadside, probably to shoot torpedoes. Unfortunately I don't get lucky and he managed to survive, and that's what I mean with the guns. In a Amagi or in a North Carolina he would have been so dead, but in the Bismarck he does still have a chance to well, do something before he dies by, of course, the amazing secondaries. So we do get close quarters expert, which is nice. So the Mayoko shows himself, which gets me a KRAKEN and almost a double kill. I think it was just a few seconds short. So the Nuremberg wasn't hiding. He was hiding, but he decided to show himself when the game finally ends. He does have a chance of killing me, but he keeps sailing broadside for some reason. But unfortunately all my shots go right through his hull, which means I don't get enough damage. But when he turns, as you'll see, or maybe not, I thought I would get a citadel, but I guess I remembered wrong. Maybe, yes, okay. As you see here, when he turns, your shots pin in his hull, which means your damage will be much higher. So we finally killed him. We did get Confederate, we did get high caliber, we did get 180,000 damage. So overall a good game for us, that is. So I pretty much mopped up the entire enemy team on my flank alone. Well, the enemy of course was pretty low, so I had an easy task cleaning that mess. Except for the Bismarck, of course. The Bismarck and the Nuremberg were the only ones who had basically full HP. So it was a nice close quarters battle, but yes, of course we didn't have a flag for the entire game. Or we did sometimes have A, but it was not enough, of course. So the enemy has a clear points advantage, and we lose with 6 kills and all these achievements. So I know the previous game I said I really hoped I didn't have to post another game where I lose with amazing stats, but here we are again. I seem to be cursed in some way of getting a bad team when I play good, and of course that's always my luck. When I play bad, most of the time we do win, but of course now we didn't, and I don't have the end screen unfortunately. But this was a nice Bismarck game, I thought, so I decided to put it on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!